Hi, welcome back, or welcome for the very first time. If you did the video just before this one, it was called Observe and Interact, and it is actually the very first principle in permaculture. Permaculture is a natural systems design. So if I was to look at my land, notice maybe just where the water would flow and where it likes to flow, perhaps I would enhance how and where that water likes to flow by putting things around it that make the most sense and work with the land rather than against it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about the second permaculture principle, which is catch and store energy. We can think of this in many, many different ways. We might think about it in ways close into the winter time. So in Canada right now, we're getting into just the end of November. So it's a little bit of snow on the ground, a little bit cool. So in order to catch our own energy and store it, I might put mittens on so that I can keep my hands warm, or I might put boots on or a toque on to kind of keep that energy and keep that warmth within me so I can store it for a little bit longer. And just behind me here is a little bit of a wood-burning stove here too. So we catch and store energy by harvesting maybe fallen trees or harvested wood that's meant to be firewood. And we heat our home with it and make sure it's nice and cozy so we can keep our bodies warm through the winter time. So in yoga practice, we could possibly think of catching and storing energy in the sense of warming the body. So maybe we could think of the center or the solar plexus, that energy power source center of the body, and stoking that fire so that we have lots of energy to work through the practice. We could possibly also think about it in the sense of our breath and pacing ourselves through our breath, ensuring we follow the breath, control the breath. And then we can elongate these holds or create just maybe a more energetic practice. So there'll be maybe just a few energetic sequences here. But for the most part, we're thinking about storing our vital energy within our bodies and within our minds as well. So we make sure we don't exhaust ourselves too much. So I invite you to come into a seated shape and close your eyes. If you prefer to lean against a wall and it's convenient for you, you can do that as well. We'll just drop into our bodies in this moment, not asking anything of them, no judgment or expectations, just noticing, observing what exists now. So coming to that first permaculture principle, observing, and then interacting with that observation, engaging the breath, deeply in and softly out. Continue that process of observing, deeply in, softly out. And after a few breaths, possibly noticing that leveling out of energy, that flow of energy. We have a lot going on in our minds. Are we relatively calm? Just looking, watching, and caring for our vital energy. Just two more soft breaths here, aware, soft breaths. And the next inhale, eyes still closed, just reach your arms up, reach your fingers to the sky. Big breath. Reach, reach, reach. Continue to reach through your breath. Exhale to soften your shoulders and inhale to reach your fingers. See if you can sink the shoulders and reach your fingers at the same time. And once you've sunken your shoulders so they're sort of comfy and plugged in, see if your next inhale can reach your rib cage up toward those fingers. Lift, lengthen the torso. And exhale, palms come together down into the center of the chest, through the face, into the center of the chest. And again, inhale, reach your arms up, big breath in, eyes open or closed this time, it's up to you. Let your shoulders relax, and then take another breath, lift the rib cage with your fingers. exhale, hands to the heart center. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale to reach your arms up. Notice where the shoulders go. Do they like to creep up? Can we then relax them down? Inhale, reach the rib cage with the fingers. And exhale, hands come through. Inhale, reaching up when you're ready. Notice where the shoulders go. Can we keep them relaxed this time? And then reach the rib cage with your fingers up to the sky. And exhale, follow through to the heart. And place your hands down on your knees. Fingers just dangle off of your kneecap so you can kind of rest the edge of your wrist on your kneecap. Rest your shoulders down. Inhale, lifting the ribs. Feeling all the sides of the ribs. And down, decompress. A couple more times. Inhale. Feel the sides, the back, the front. Open up like a big barrel. And exhale. Once more, inhale, open up, swelling. And exhale, let it go. And start to walk your hands in front of your shins so you can uncross your legs and come into an all fours or tabletop shape. So we just want to make sure we have our wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Maybe make your knees a little wider and your hands a little wider. Give yourself some comfy space. Tuck your toes under for some control and also a little flexion in the foot. Inhale to tip your tail up. Let the tip of your ribs fall down, the edge of your ribs, bottom. Let your heart come forward. Pull through with your fingertips to reach your heart, your chin, your chest upward. And then bring that tailbone in on the exhale. Slowly rippling through your spine. See if you can find a little bit of control here. Build a little bit of heat working through each little piece of your spine. Tuck the chin. And then your inhale, just your tail starts to come upward. The front of your hips point down. The bottom of the ribs starts to sag. All the organs can come down. And then we'll start to pull our heart in between the chest and reach up. And continue moving through these cat and cows nice and slowly with a lot of control. Just moving through the pace of your breath, the rhythm of your breath. And strong, squeezing the back body together, hugging the front body together. And coming back into a child's pose when you feel ready. Untuck the toes. Tops of the feet press down. Just let your hips fall back toward your heels. Sinking down. Your arms could be in front of you. They could be wrapped around the lower bit of your legs. And if your forehead doesn't touch, that's no worries. You can stack your hands or your fists on top. And even if your forehead can reach, maybe it feels nice to release your upper shoulder muscles, your trap muscles with a little bit of a propping. Your next inhale, reaching the fingertips forward as far forward as you can reach them. Shoulder width apart. Grip with your finger pads like you're a cat pouncing in the grass. Pull yourself up off your heels. Let your shoulders come over top of your wrists. Tuck your toes. Continue leaning forward. Then bend into the elbows and lower your body down. Scoot your knees back if you need to. Tops of the feet press. Let the pelvis ground here too, so let your heels roll out so you can touch as much of the top of your foot as you can. Zip your elbows in, pull your hands toward you, press into the feet. Inhale, looking up, reaching up through the chin. And then exhale, come back down through the center. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, pull your hands toward you, press into the tops of your feet, all 10 toenails, and reach up. Unless you only have a few, and that's okay. Press into as many as you can. Tuck the toes under, keep your knees in contact, push yourself away from the ground, lift yourself up, inhale. Exhale, let those hips come back to the heels. The arms extend in front of you. The toes are tucked, we're stretching into the feet. And the hips don't have to come all the way back, just let them sink back as much as they want to. Inhale, come forward, shoulders over wrists. Keep leaning forward, exhale, elbows come toward the ribs, lower down the chest. Untuck the toes, inhale, pelvis grounds, tops of the feet lift. And then exhale to come down. Tuck the toes, come up through the knees, lift the torso, inhale. And exhale, sink it back. Let's do this 3 more times, working through, trying to draw a little bit of heat through the body. Inhale to come forward, and exhale to come down. Tops of the feet, pelvis grounds, inhale. Exhale, come back down to earth. Tuck the toes, inhale up to the knees, and exhale, creep it back. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, forward. And just go with the flow of your breath as if it's counting you through, as it's guiding you through these movements. And if we reverse the breath, that's okay too. Just enjoy that process. Maybe you like to linger in a space for an extra breath. Go through this space. Catching, storing whatever energy you need, saving energy if you need to. And then we'll come back to a child's pose, so you can untuck your toes. Walk your hips back toward your heels. Slide your hands in and support your head, your forehead as needed. In through the nose, out through the nose. And if a little sigh out of the mouth is helpful for you to regulate your breath, then take a moment to let a sigh out of the mouth. And reaching the fingertips as far forward as you can. Start to walk those hands forward, grip your fingers, lift your hips up off the heels. Tuck your toes and lift your knees, pressing into your hands. Push your hips up toward the sky. Maybe your knees are still bent. Maybe you like to just walk the feet out a little bit, sway the hips out a little bit. Just grip into all your finger pads, and especially kind of pinching the ground or gripping the ground with your pointer finger and your thumb. So leaning the weight of your hands into the more middle part of the mat, so where your thumb and finger are. And then push your hands away to lengthen your arms as much as possible. Feel your armpits stretch open. Feel those triceps and biceps. Pull the mat apart with your hands. Feel those shoulders plug in, chest open up wide. We'll take a few more breaths here. So you can take take a moment anytime you need. You can bring the knees down. You can pedal out, you can move. Just explore this strong shape. So let your head kind of relax between your arms, pulling your hands apart. Feel the broadness you're creating in the whole front line of the chest, and underneath the arms. And just reaching the tail away from your middle finger. And 2 more nice, strong, steady breaths here, building the heat, storing energy. Think about how you're speaking to yourself in your mind at this moment. How do you store energy with your words? Inwardly, outwardly. Take a moment to think about those thoughts and words that float. We'll inhale to take the right leg up and back. Lift the heel toward the sky. Push your hands away from that heel. Lift the heel. Another inhale. Reach that heel up. Exhale. The knee comes directly toward the center of the chest. Step it through between your hands. Inhale to come all the way up, high on the ball of your left foot. Reaching up with those hands, bend your back knee. Let your shoulders relax like we did before. The front knee is over the front ankle. And we'll lift up with the fingers. And then exhale, let the knee sink almost toward the ground. Maybe as if you could slide a little piece of paper under it. Inhale, push up and back with your heel, lift your fingers, and then exhale, dip your knee down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, pushing your heel back behind you, straightening the back leg as much as your body would like to. Keeping our shoulders over the hips. So if you notice it's a little tight in the back and you try to straighten your leg, maybe your rib cage kind of shoots forward and you find a little back bend. So keep a little bit of a bend in your back knee. So just keep going, maybe 1 or 2 more. Inhale, just floating up, and exhale, floating down. Inhale, floating up. Exhale, float all the way down. Let your fingers frame your front leg. Plant your left hand down or the fist, and then reach your right arm up toward the sky. Push down through your left fist or your left palm or your fingertips, and reach your right fingers up toward the sky. Big inhale. Look up if you like to. Next exhale, bring your hand down on the outside of your right foot. Plant your palms, lift your back knee, and step back with your right foot, coming into a plank shape. So find yourself in this powerful shape, another powerful shape. Let your upper body round, so press into your hands, kind of bring your heart toward your back. And then push forward through your toes. Just lean here for a moment. Maybe your knees come down. One more breath. Inhale here. Exhale, keep pushing forward, bend the elbows, and come down. Tops of the feet, pelvis ground. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, come back down to earth. Tuck the toes, come up and back to down dog. Maybe you use your knees and zip yourself up. Take another breath, or 3 here. We'll take 3. Bringing yourself into that powerful posture. A place where we can explore and feel strong, feel stable, or work on stability, work on strength, work through fear. Those fearful thoughts in your mind telling you things that aren't true, that are limiting yourself and your growth. Pull your hands apart. Feel the broadness in the chest. Push your fingers away. Lift your hips. Knees can be bent as much as you need them to be. Let the head droop between the arms. One more breath. Inhale to reach your left heel up. Leg comes up. Press back with the heel. Press away from your heel with your fingertips. Reach it up. One more breath. Reach, reach, reach. And then exhale, knee comes right to the chest. Step between your hands. Inhale, come up high on the ball of your back foot. Reaching up. The front knee is over the front ankle. Just pay attention to that for a moment. Shoulders over your hips. Bend the back knee enough so you feel comfy. You'll know the moment. So you'll push back with your heel and feel a little bit of a tug, and notice your chest wants to come forward. If you bend the back knee a little, everything can kind of align and feel a little more cozy. So inhale to reach the fingers up. Exhale to bend the back knee, almost touching the ground. Inhale up. Just straightening up that leg. Exhale, come down. Let's do 3 more. Inhale, exhale. Couple more, just floating through, noticing whatever there is to notice, building power, building strength. Dipping down, touching down. Fingers come down. Plant your right fist or fingers or palms. Reach the left arm up toward the sky. Look up toward your fingers if you like to. Press down through your right fist, fingertips, or hand, and reach your left fingertips up to the sky. Twist as much as you can here. Open up the chest, the inside of your left arm. One more breath. And then exhale to bring your hand down. We'll plant the fingers down. Go ahead and lift your back knee, and we'll step back with that left foot coming into plank. Inhale here. We can go through a little flow if we like to. Exhale, come down. Inhale, tops of the feet, lifting your upper body up, pressing through your lower body, and exhale to come down. Inhale, up and back to downward dog. Take a breath or 2 if you need it. Take a child's pose if that sounds really nice right now. How can we conserve, how can we catch and store energy? When do we decide we need to expel energy? And how much energy and what quality of energy? Inhale, look between your thumbs. Exhale, hop, jump, step, however you like to the top of the mat into forward fold. And just let yourself hang here. Let the head hang off of your neck. Maybe you shake your head and nod your head. You could bend your knees a lot. You could fall and hold your opposite elbows. And just one more breath, you could sway. Anything that sounds good, feels good. It doesn't matter what it looks like. Drop those fingers to the ground. Inhale, a half lift, hands to shins. Just looking a little forward, pressing your hands into the shins. We'll stay for one more breath. Straightening up the arms, maybe start to look forward and feel between your shoulder blades, stretching through those spinal extensors. And then exhale, fold over. Inhale, rise up, push through your feet, lift your fingers up to the sky, reach tall. Exhale, hands through the center of the chest. And inhale, reach up, here we go. Exhale, forward fold over your legs. Inhale, a half lift. Exhale, fold again, plant your fingers, hop, jump, step back into plank. Finding yourself in this plank shape, this strong, solid shape, rounding your upper back, bring the heart toward your spine. Push forward with your toes. So a really powerful plank here, grip through your finger pads. Then start to transfer your weight over to the left hands. We'll tumble our left heel over to the left, the right heel over to the left. So we're on the inside of the right foot. And if this doesn't feel like it would be a good idea for you, drop your left knee, kickstand the lower half of the leg out, drop your right foot behind, and lift your right arm up. So if we're coming through with the knees lifted, we'll tumble over to the left, inside of the right foot, outside of the left. Press through your left hand and reach the right arm up. And there's lots of different ways to play in a plank. So you can decide to play, you can come in and out if you like to. You could play with your balance, stacking your right foot on top of the left. Reach the hips up high. And just a couple more breaths to play here. Play in your power. Catch some energy here. Ignite your solar plexus. That sense of power, of I can. And then bring your right hand back down. We'll come into plank or kneeling plank and work through a flow if you like. So kneeling or not, come forward and down. Into a cobra shape or some sort of back bend. Exhale, come down to earth, tuck the toes, up and back to down dog. Couple breaths here. Come back to strength, come back to power. Come back to energy. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose, or a big sigh out. Look between the thumbs, inhale, exhale, hop, jump, step, however you like to, float your way to the top of the mat, into forward fold, let yourself hang out. The head falls off the neck. Inhale to half lift, hands to shins, straightening the arms, and again looking forward a little bit to feel between the shoulders. And exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, rise up, reach your fingers up toward the sky. Big breath, open up. Exhale, hands to heart. Again, inhale, reach up. And exhale, fall over your legs. Inhale, a half lift. And exhale, fold over. Plant your hands, hop or step back to your plank. Let's find that plank shape. Rounding the upper back, grip through your fingers. Draw your heart toward your spine. Push forward with your toes if your knees are lifted. And take a play, take a shape, take an experiment into your side plank. So again, you can tumble over to the right with those heels, lifting the left arm up toward the sky, lifting your hips up with them, pressing down through your palm. You could lower your right knee, kickstand the lower half of the leg, step the left foot behind, and reach up, still hiking the hips up a little bit. If you'd like to play with balance and your knees are lifted, you could go ahead and stack your left foot on top of your right, and then hike your hips up, lifting up, taking an extra breath or two, wherever you choose to play. And come back, plant the hand, bring those toes tucked, come in through a flow. Knees down or up. Use the breath as your guide. This is a way to smooth out your breath, smooth out the pace of your heart. Come to child's pose or down dog. And we'll take a couple of breaths. A big sigh out if you need to regulate. Breathing through the nose to cool. And start to lower your knees down. Come into child's pose if we aren't snuggled there already. Open the knees nice and wide. Send your hips back toward your heels. The big toes can come toward each other. You can settle in between your thighs if this is okay for the lower back. If your lower back is kind of chatting to you a little bit, we'll zip the knees together. So you can bring them right together and then roll over top of them. So you have this kind of nice, beautiful podium. So your back can kind of spread over top of your thighs, over top of your quads. So you choose which variation your body needs at this moment, and remember, you can always support your forehead. As you breathe in this space, let your belly be soft. Your front body be the softest part. So let your organs be supported by the external layer of your body. And your back to be a little lengthened. And for these creases to cut off a little bit of circulation in your legs so that we can extend them, squeeze and hug them from this shape. And just taking a journey through the body and seeing where that energy is trapped or stored or hidden away. Can we unlock it? We'll just slowly start to come out of this little huggy shape, this little tucked in shape. Bring the knees closer together and see if you can come into sit on your heels. So you may tuck your toes or not, or maybe you sit right on top of the heels. And see what feels best for you. Try out a couple of different ways to sit. And just allow your hips to sink down wherever they may be. And close your eyes. And the shoulders rest over your hips. And just steady the breath. Steady the heartbeat. And inhale to reach your arms up. And exhale, hands through the center of the chest. Inhale up. And exhale through the heart. And pop yourself up off your heels. Swing your legs to the side. And we'll come onto the side of the hip, bringing your legs forward. And about halfway down your mat so that when we're ready to come down on our backs, we can easily scooch down. And kind of rearrange your body a little bit so you feel comfy, cozy. Move around your flesh of your bones and any kind of adjustments you need to make. Flex your heels, send your toes up, and try to align your hips underneath your shoulders. This may sound easier than it is done, so give yourself that little compassionate eye. That little wink of acknowledgement. The hands can be wherever you need them to be, on the floor, or on your legs. Slow down the flow of energy. Visualize a little pot, a little ceramic pot, deep down in the center of your core, the center of your front body. You're allowing all of this really important, vital and important, wonderful, beautiful, joyful energy into that little ceramic pot, swirling into it, just like honey pouring into it, concentrated joy, concentrated vitality. And store that heat and energy for yourself for another time when you need it, when you need to draw from that honey pot. We'll bring the hands alongside the hips so we can bend the knees and plant the feet. And scoot your hips down and forward to the front of your mat so that you can roll down on your back. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Give yourself a big hug. Maybe you cross your arms over your shins or hold on to the shins or the knees. Just hug them in a little bit. Maybe you rock a little side to side. Give yourself a little snug. The nose can come toward the knees. And then unfurl, let your head relax, your shoulders relax, the legs come up toward the sky. So just reach them up. You can hold the backs or let them go. It's up to you. And just kind of wiggle out the toes, circle out the ankles. Relax the arms, let your palms and your thumbs roll away from you. And really shake those ankles a little bit, shake the knees a little bit, shake through, get into the hips, let your belly shake a little bit. And we'll set the feet down, start to lengthen them outward. Bring your heels down toward the ground, your toes pointed toward the sky, and make sure you can have your heels on your mat or on a surface that you can kind of feel the grip of. And then you're just going to start to point your toes away as you pull your heels toward yourself. So it kind of tugs the body down, and then draw the toes toward you and the heels away. So even if it's a slight movement, just kind of scooting the body up and down. So see if you can push down through your heels and point your toes. And then point your toes toward your shins, press your heels away. So we're kind of sliding across the flesh of our back, the flesh of our glutes, the flesh of the back of our shoulders. So push down, a little bit of effort. Push down through your heels and point your toes away. Tug yourself to the end of the mat. And then push down and pull your toes toward you. It's just a couple more times. Just let yourself be tugged and slide across your body. Maybe you go with the breath. So inhale, the toes come up. Exhale, push down through the heels, push the toes away, point the toes to the end of your mat. Continue the breath. Inhale, toes come toward you. And exhale, toes come away. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then bring your heels to the edges of your mat. Let your toes fall away and just give your feet a little windshield wipe side to side. If it feels good to keep your legs extended, stay in the shape. Close your eyes. Open your arms a little wider. Let your thumbs roll away. Palms up. Check on your lower back. Do a little body scan here. If the lower back is chatty and distracting, bend the knees. Walk the feet to the edges of your mat and let the knees fall toward each other. We'll come into a nice final relaxation, letting the rest of the honey drip into the honey pot in your solar plexus, the center of your body. You can store that energy. And just stay here, relax, sink in, and I promise I'll bring you back when it's time. Now we'll just slowly start to draw our attention back to the body laying in this space. Just maybe our breath starts to engage a little and we stretch our fingers and our toes and our arms and our legs. You can inhale to reach the arms alongside the ears and point the toes to the end of your mat, the fingers to the front of your mat. Big breath in to reach long through the body. And then exhale, draw your knees in toward your chest. We'll give ourselves another hug in, another little rock, another little bit of movement if you need to before coming up to a seated shape. And come to seated if you like to roll over to your right side. Just roll over and bring your right arm underneath your head. Sort of a little bit of a pillow here. Take a moment to yourself in this shape. The shape where it all began. And then start to extend your left leg, press into your left palm to bring yourself up into a seated shape. And any seated shape will do. If you have that wall available to yourself, then find a little support for yourself. And just close our eyes and come into a seat. Let our hips spread out here and give us room to plant, room to land once again. And close your eyes, sit tall, notice the support of your core, the energy you may have, and the joy knowing of the energy you have stored away in that little honey pot. I invite you to place one of your hands on your heart and the other hand on your belly, and take a big breath in through the nose and a big sigh out of the mouth. My heart is at ease, knowing what's meant for me will not pass me by, and what passes me by was not meant for me. Let's inhale, reach our arms up, draw a great big circle. Big breath, exhale, hands through the center of the chest. Take a moment of pause, close your eyes. Plant those seeds, store that energy. And Om Shanti Shanti, thank you so much for joining me.